Hello and welcome to Inside Indiana Business. I'm Gerry Dick, coming to you this week from one of some 13,000 homes now on the market in Indiana. This home happens to be in the Lockerbie neighborhood in downtown Indianapolis, indicative really of the housing stock that's now available downtown. This home, 4 levels, 5,600 square feet, estimated price tag right now about $1.6 million. There's an elevator here as well. You know, the last few years have been challenging for the housing market here in central Indiana and statewide. Rising mortgage rates, skyrocketing prices, all contributing to a rather challenging housing market. But in the midst of the midwinter freeze, there are signs of a thawing market. Statewide sales were up 8% in December. In central Indiana, inventory increased 16%. And with mortgage rates moderating, some suggest things are looking up for 2025. From the pandemic's disruptive effects to rising mortgage rates and a tight housing market, the past few years have been a roller coaster for home buyers and sellers alike. But as 2024 drew to a close, signs of moderation began to emerge. Statewide home sales increased 8% in December, that according to numbers from the Indiana Association of Realtors. And in central Indiana, inventories remained tight but showed signs of easing, increasing by 16%, providing a bit of optimism for 2025.
Generally speaking, I think we certainly in Indiana expect a very strong year. We've got a very stable, solid real estate market. That's a big advantage for being a Hoosier, is that we don't ride the cycles that a lot of places do. So we expect, if not a robust year, certainly a very strong one.
Brown says affordability will be king in 2025 in a housing market that has seen average monthly house payments double in 5 years.
However, Indianapolis and Indiana specifically, we tend to be very favorable relatively on the cost of insurance, on property taxes, and our prices relative to other places in the country are extraordinarily affordable.
And the Indiana housing market is getting noticed. Zillow ranks Indianapolis as the nation's second hottest housing market for 2025, noting affordability, strong job market, and high quality of life. And joining me now with some perspective on the statewide housing market, pleased to be joined by Mark Fisher. Mark is the CEO of the Indiana Association of Realtors. And Mark, some challenging years, the last few years, a combination of COVID, mortgage rates certainly, a lack of inventory. It's been a challenging few years.
Yeah, we've seen gone from very low interest rates to very high interest rates. We've seen a lot of movement of people across the country with the pandemic. But we seem to be entering into a more balanced market as we head into 2025.
As you look at numbers from last year, from 2024, certainly the tail end of 24, heading into 25, it appears as though things are lining up for a much improved 25.
Yeah, we ended on a really strong note, especially here in central Indiana, but statewide we ended up just above where we were in 2023. We've got some good news for sellers and buyers as we head into 25.
As you look at that good news on the horizon for sellers and buyers, what are some of those?
For sellers, we ended on a strong note, so we know that the demand is there. We also know that houses are moving fairly quickly, just over 2 weeks from list to pend, and sellers are getting about 96% on average from their original asking price. So we know that there's strong demand. If you price it right, the house should move quickly.
And obviously, employment, jobs are a big factor in this. The economy in Indiana, as you look around the state, is certainly in several pockets around the state, jobs being created, jobs of people moving into certain areas. Has that had an impact?
Yeah, so Indiana still has relative affordability compared to our national peers and our Midwestern peers. So relative to our wage growth, we've seen strong wage growth, we've seen strong economic growth and positive net migration. So we should see a strong market for sellers. We see builders that are adding more inventory, so buyers should have more options as well. And we've seen that price appreciation really steady. So we're seeing more of around 4 or 5% as opposed to 12, 14, 15% increases in prices.
How important is the psychology when people see that perhaps interest rates are moderating, see that things are better? Does that help? Is there an impact on the market?
Well, it certainly can drive more demand. As home buyers are sitting on low interest rates, as they get more comfortable, they can maybe put their house on the market. But as those rates come down, we actually may see more demand as buyers come off the sidelines as well. So we could see more inventory, but more customers and clients coming into the market.
In Indiana, Indianapolis in particular, getting some national attention. Zillow out with a report pegging Indianapolis as the second hottest real estate market in 2025.
That's right. That goes along with that economic growth, that population growth, especially in central Indiana. You have builders that can build at scale, so they're building the new types of housing. But we're also seeing the quality of life and the difference of quality of life and the options you have that in central Indiana has to offer.
Well, even mid-sized Indiana cities like Marion and Grant County are experiencing a housing resurgence of sorts. Officials there breaking ground on a nearly $11 million mixed-use development in the city's downtown riverfront district. River Rock Lofts will feature 44 apartments, commercial space, and a public plaza. Marion Mayor Ronald Morrell says the project is a major step towards his vision of creating a walkable, dense downtown. Construction expected to be complete by the spring of next year.